Recently, I've just purchased a 2024 Chevy Colorado ZR2. When I was first trying to decide which model I'll say to buy, I did a little bit of research and I talked to my dealer. I've got a guy, if you will. And him and I were talking and I said, what do you think about these Bisons? I really like the ZR2. Is the Bison package worth it? And he said, well, for one, they're a little hard to get because Chevy builds them. So what they actually do is take a regular ZR2 and turn it into a Bison. They ship the entire truck off to AEV, they build it, and they send it back to you. So he said, in addition to taking up to 2-3 months more than just getting one that he had on the lot immediately, it would be about $12,000 more. So the decision for me was kind of a no-brainer. I said, I want to get the truck right now. I can get it from him. He had one in stock in the color I wanted, this kind of charcoal gray. I don't know exactly what they call it. And I didn't think the Bison was worth the money. So I have it now. I drive it around. I love it. I've had it for several months. And just the other day, I'm actually recovering from a knee replacement, sitting around feeling sorry for myself, looking at YouTube videos on the computer, and I thought, you know, I want to find out what the Bison really has to offer, because in my mind, and during the time of purchase, I thought it was mostly some style options, you know, different bumpers, different fender flares, different rims, things like that, some stitching, badging, things like that. I thought, no way that's worth $12,000, and no way they're getting that for it. There's got to be more to it. So I looked around on YouTube, as one does, tried to find the difference, and I couldn't find a lot of videos. I found a lot of walk-arounds on the ZR2, the regular Colorado, the Bison, things like that, but nothing that really went very far into depth comparing the difference between the Bison and the regular ZR2. So that brings me to where I'm at today, and I thought I'd share some of the things I found with you guys. If you're not familiar with AEV, it's American Expedition Vehicles. They make a lot of accessories, packages, all kinds of builds. I guess my first encounter with them was in the Jeep world. There's a lot of AEV bumpers, and I think they're really cool. And what they've done with the Colorado is pretty awesome as well. But I do like what Chevy's done themselves, and I thought I heard somewhere that AEV actually makes the regular ZR2 bumpers, not just the Bison ones. There's definitely a difference in styling, but the regular ZR2 ones are pretty cool. Both the regular ZR2 and the Bison edition have what I would call high clearance off-road bumpers. They have a great approach and departure angle and fit oversized tires. Where the Bison starts to pull away is that the bumper on the Bison is already winch ready. So you buy a winch and you bolt it right up. Both models come with rock sliders and skid plates. The Bison model, however, has some different, more robust and additional skid plates that the regular ZR2 model doesn't. Man, I am out here in my shop right now in the office. There's no air conditioning out here. I've got all the doors and windows shut, so the sound sounds good. But it's got to be about 85 degrees in here and 100% humidity. Both models come with oversized off-road tires. The Bison, however, comes with 35s, where the regular ZR2 comes with 33s. The Bison model tires are also 1.2 inches wider, which gives them a little more surface area. It's probably great in the mud and on the rocks, better traction. They also have a slightly larger, I think it's by about a ½ inch wheel well, and some bigger fender flares to accommodate the wider tires. My ZR2, without having the Bison, with a little bit more lift and the bigger tires, is already a really high truck. When I first got it, I was shocked at how high the bed is, which makes it a little hard to reach over into the middle, and the seat. And for a guy recovering from knee surgery, which is not my regular MO, everything will be fine when it's done, it's a little harder to get in and out of than I thought it was. I've got a 3500 Duramax dually, and I think that the seat and the bed rails on my 1-ton truck are about the same height as this. Certainly pretty close if you added 2-inch bigger tires and a little bigger lift kit. So like I said, the Bison is a little bit wider, and I am currently shopping for a snowplow. I'm looking at a Western Defender. I've got some rental properties and I need to plow them myself. So going into the fall here, I'll be putting a plow on this truck. One thing that I realized is that the widest plow I can get, at least from Western, for this truck is I think 7 foot 2 inches. And when you angle that plow, the plow width is exactly the same as the regular ZR2. If I were to have the Bison package, it would be a little bit wider than the plow swath. I don't know if it'd cause a problem, but wouldn't be ideal. Both the regular ZR2 and the Bison package have Chevy's DSV Multimatic shocks. And if you've been anywhere near the planet Earth, you'll know that these things are pretty awesome. They're a remote reservoir shock, that's hard to say, that keeps the heat down when you're going through whoops. If you're out doing Baja bumps, things like that, these things are pretty awesome. And I can attest that it's a very comfortable ride in this truck for an off-road vehicle. I've had all kinds of Jeeps and different pickups, things like that, and I can say without a doubt, this Chevy Colorado has the nicest ride of all of them. Where I can say the Bison pulls away is with their hydraulic bump stops. And it's not much of a factor when you're just driving around town, but when you're in a serious off-road situation, those hydraulic bump stops dampen that hard jerk when you bottom out the suspension that the regular static bump stops won't. I think that's a big plus. One of the things I started noticing with the Bison package is that it's always got the spare tire in the bed. These beds are already small, and if you're like me, I'm a contractor, and you use your truck for work, you want to pick up some material, things like that, having that huge spare tire in the back of the bed is kind of a pain in the butt. I saw that the regular Colorado, the one I have, they mount the tire underneath it. I thought, well, why is that? Well, then you realize it's because the tire's much smaller, so it fits underneath the truck better. If you're, again, in this off-road scenario where the bed space isn't such a big deal, and that spare tire does affect the departure angle somewhat, then I would say having it in the bed is a big advantage. If you're like me and you're driving around town, you're using this thing for work and the occasional off-road trail riding, things like that, I prefer to have it underneath the bed. So am I happy with my purchase? Absolutely. And I think if you're somebody looking at this, I mean, this truck already without the Bison package is darn near $55,000 pickup. Trucks are insanely expensive, but I don't think that's getting better anytime soon. So the money savings was a big deal to me. The spare tire underneath it was also great. Getting in and out is much easier over the side of the bed. I'm really happy with this situation. Again, I'm not taking this truck off-road much. Our property in Kentucky, things like that, if you watch either of my other channels, we do some things where what this truck has to offer over just the regular, like a Z71 or a two-wheel drive Colorado, it's awesome. Snow plowing, things like that, the lockers, all the different settings that the regular ZR2 still has are pretty awesome. Do I need the benefits of the Bison? I don't think so. In fact, I think I prefer this model. But if you were going to do some more serious off-roading, if you were using it all the time for that purpose, if you wanted to go, say, the Rubicon Trail, do something like that with your truck, I would say the Bison is set up pretty well. Might even afford you a larger than 35-inch tire. You wouldn't fit it in the regular model. The Bison is probably the way to go, and it might even be the difference between whether you make it through or not. So which will you go with? Leave that in the comments. Which do you have? Are you happy with your purchase? I think other people would like to know. I'm happy with mine. Hopefully you are with yours. Let me know. I'm sure I forgot plenty of things, plenty of differences. There's more, but maybe we'll do another one of these videos as some of those come up. You guys can help me with that in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.